Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, you already know where to find them at. You know where they at. Big print champs, get your Hurt season hats, get all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? Use code Bully10 at checkout. You know what I mean? I want to get right into this one. You know what I mean? Because let's think about this for a second. It's been a wild off season in the NFC East, to say the least. The Commanders and the Giants have been chilling. The Eagles just went to the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys just had another disappointing end to a season by the standard that they live by. You know what I mean? Another divisional round exit. The emergence of Jalen Hurts has flipped everything upside down in the division. The Dallas Cowboys are jockeying for position to prove why their guy is better than Jalen Hurts. And, that's fine. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. Cowboys, content creators, fans, they supposed to try to hold on to it as long as they possibly can. And I'm just personally not mad at that. What I don't like about the situation is the cap, though. It's a lot of cap. You know what I mean? A lot of false things being said, a lot of narratives being painted. Some things that have to be cleared up first before I even get to explaining why I believe that Jalen Hurts has surpassed Dak Prescott. Why I believe that Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? I'm here to provide my thoughts along with the evidence on why I believe this is now the case. You know what I mean? In the NFC East. Now, everybody on TV is talking about Jalen Hurts being the best quarterback in the conference. That is a position that was earned. You know what I mean? A lot of people have to understand that. You know what I mean? And when they say Jalen Hurts is now the best quarterback in the conference, that's not a shock to any other quarterback in the conference. But let's look at the quarterbacks in the conference. Matthew Stafford is older, cannot stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Geno Smith, yeah, he just emerged on the scene, but people still looking at him like he Geno Smith. Kirk Cousins doesn't garner any respect around the National Football League. He just don't get it done when it's time to get it done. You don't respect guys like that for real. You know what I'm saying? Dak Prescott falls into that category as well. Kyler Murray's falling off the scene. So it only really leaves Jalen Hurts. But Cowboys fans can't accept it. It was all fine and dandy, ladies and gentlemen, when, we were uncertain at the quarterback position. We were uncertain at it for a while. Remember that. We were very uncertain at the quarterback position, and we had to live with the Cowboys having stacked offenses, having good defenses, good enough defenses. You know what I'm saying? We had to live with the Cowboys having the best offensive line in the National Football League for years. They said this about these guys. While Lane and Kelsey was on the roster, and Jason Peters, the Cowboys offensive line was still held in a regard as being better than the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. They talked about these things. These guys have had stacked rosters. When the NFC East was being called the NFC least, the Cowboys already had their quarterback in place. You got to think about the teams in the division that had the multitude of quarterback changes. Think about that. That's something that Cowboys content creators and fans don't take into effect when they blurt out 8-3. We run the division. Let's get to that real fast. Y'all run the NFC East, right? Because y'all 8-3 against the Eagles. I think you're 7-2 against the Giants, and you're like 9-1 against the Commanders. So y'all run the NFC East, right? But there hasn't been a repeat winner in the division since 2005 when I was in high school. So how can you run something that you haven't won back-to-back? Jalen Hurts is going to be the first quarterback since Donovan McNabb to do that, by the way. So how you telling us you run it when you don't really run it? It don't make sense to me. That's cap number one. You know what I mean? Let's be logical. Hasn't been a repeat winner in 16 years, but you run it. Let's be logical. The second narrative that's being painted by Cowboys content creators and Cowboys fans is that Jalen Hurts' MVP season that just passed, Dak Prescott's rookie season, is very comparable to it, if not better.
Best quarterback. So he's the second best quarterback?
Law Nation heard me.
He said he was joking.
I
you're
was
joking.
joking.
Oh,
I
okay. I
said,
didn't hear
but
that
but
part. Yeah.
truly, I believe he's the second best behind Jalen Hurts. Yes.
Why Jalen Hurts? Why Jalen Hurts? Why
I,
Jalen
I
Hurts?
I think Jalen Hurts is everything that Dak. I think Jalen Hurts is everything Law would want Dak to be. Jalen Hurts
Yeah,
is
his
an
rookie year,
actual.
Dak's
Uh,
rookie
uh,
year is Jalen's numbers.
yeah, Dak rookie year is his best year.
It's the same numbers according to these guys. The same numbers. And I'm here to tell you that that is malarkey. Yes, if you look at the passing stats, the passing numbers are the same. Dak Prescott, had those passing yards pretty much and those touchdowns that Jalen Hurts had. But it's just convenient that you would leave out 730 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns? I mean, if we're going to talk football, let's talk all of it. Because if you only give me half the story, that's a lie. Because if it ain't the whole story, it's a lie. So he did what Dak Prescott did, throwing the ball, okay, while adding a whole nother dimension of the game that the defense got to worry about and him running the ball. Not only did he do that, he was number one from the pocket while having those rushing yards. I don't think a quarterback in the history of the NFL has done that. Throwing for over 3,500 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns, rushed for over 700 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, and over 10 rushing touchdowns, and be number one in the pocket in all passing statistics. I don't think another quarterback has ever done that. Dak Prescott wasn't number one in the pocket in all statistics his rookie year. And Dak Prescott did not run for 700 yards and 13 touchdowns his rookie year. So that's just crazy for you guys to even go and draw the conclusion that, those seasons are similar. I mean, it's only similar if you leave stuff out. Let's keep it all the way. This is the word they like to use right now, y'all, context. Let's keep everything in context, right? Let's give context to some of these statements that y'all saying. Don't make sense. And, just to make sure y'all follow me down this walk, what's the context in you guys being 8-3, 7-2, and 9-1 against the teams in the division? Everybody else had a multitude of different quarterbacks. Bring the contents to y'all amazing record. And how much weight does the title of you saying you run the division when it ain't been a repeat, when nobody run the NFC East? Let's be clear. The Philadelphia Eagles have been far more successful in the division. The Eagles and the Giants in the past, 15 years or whatever the case was. They've been more successful. Yes, they've won Super Bowls. They've been in championship games. But nobody run a division. It's the toughest division in football. The toughest division in football. The toughest division in football. The first thing that, I want to get to when talking about why Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott, I'll go to this one first. The clutch gene, the clutch factor. I believe that when it's time to make something happen, you're more likely to get it out of Jalen Hurts than you are to get it out of Dak Prescott. You are. Dak Prescott got more film out there. Dak Prescott has more disappointing moments out there than Jalen Hurts has. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a knock on Dak Prescott. This is just me adding context to the bickering. This is just me putting all of it in there. They leave certain stuff out. So I don't think Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback at all. I don't. I just don't think Dak Prescott is clutch. I just don't think Dak Prescott gets it done when it's time to get it done. Case in point, since we had in context to this, in 2019, Dak Prescott was having a phenomenal season. I think over 4,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, all this crazy stuff. All this crazy stuff going on in 2019 for the Dallas Cowboys. Carson Wentz was the quarterback for the Eagles. Carson Wentz didn't have a wide receiver over 500 yards. Did not have a wide receiver over 500 yards. The division ended up coming down to the line. I think both teams were 8-8. The game was in Philly. If the Eagles win, they in. If the Cowboys win, they in. That year, now I remember the offseason before that, everybody was talking about how many game-winning drives Dak Prescott had. It was impressive. The number of game-winning drives. But in 2019, he had 0. All he needed was one game-winning drive, and he would have won a division. It wouldn't even have came to that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have came to that. Not only do they lose the game to Philadelphia in 2019, they don't score a touchdown. 3 field goals in that game. Completely outclassed. Now, let's talk about Jalen Hurts' heart for a second. or his clutch gene for a second. Now, before we get to Jalen Hurts, let's double back to Dak Prescott's clutch gene. Why I think that Jalen Hurts is more clutch. What's Dak Prescott's career-defining moment? What's the moment where you said him? What was the moment? These moments could come in a win or a loss. These moments could come in a win or a loss. Now, again, I'm not saying Dak Prescott doesn't have these moments. He does have these moments. I think one occurred against the Packers. One occurred against the Giants, even though the Giants were a horrible team that year. Dak Prescott has these moments. He has these moments, but none of them was in a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott don't have a moment in his catalog to where he had to go score 8 points and tie that ball game up. And put it on the defense. Because if you don't score and get the 2-point conversion, the defense don't have nothing to go out there and play for because it's over. It's over. Jalen Hurts made sure that the offense wasn't the reason why he lost the Super Bowl. He tied it up 5 minutes left. You get me a stop. Now it's on me again to go out there and perform. It's on me again. Just get me the ball. It's on me again. He wanted that smoke. He wanted that pressure. The clutch gene ain't there, man. It ain't there with Dak Prescott, man. Losing to the San Francisco 49ers 2 years in a row, having fans in the stands crying. The only thing that's ever been made out of that was excuses. You know what I mean? It's rarely accountability being accepted for him not getting it done. You know what I mean? He just don't get it done, man. And that's not even me being mean. Stop me when I'm lying. When did he get it done? When did he take his team somewhere that they haven't been in a long time? You talking about a team that's on a 28-year streak of not playing in a championship game. When did he get them to? When did that streak break? When did that break? It ain't break, man. He's still there. He ain't get it done. The streak is alive and he there 8 years now. It's no clutching ball, man. It's no clutching him. But it's clutching him, but it ain't like the one Jalen Hurts got. Since we compared the two, it's not like the one that Jalen Hurts got. I'm sorry, man. I'm just the facts. Now, the second thing that I think Jalen Hurts has over Dak Prescott is leadership. It's leadership. Now, Dak Prescott is an amazing leader. Now, the leadership one is a slim margin, but I think Jalen Hurts got him already. Dak Prescott is an amazing leader, man. An amazing leader. You know what I mean? Dak Prescott is a humanitarian off the court. Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Seems to say all the right things. You know what I mean? When the camera in his face, he always say the right things. You know what I mean? I really have no issue with the leadership style. The guys that play with Dak Prescott, they often say how good of a leader Dak Prescott is. But, being a leader is not all about, what people say about you. It's about what you exude. It's about what you present to the world as well. You know what I mean? The people on the team got to say you're a good guy. We didn't know it was an issue with Carson Wentz until Jalen Hurts was drafted. We didn't know Alshon Jeffrey wasn't filling his ghost. We didn't know that until Jalen Hurts was drafted. The guys that play with you got to big your name up. That's just the name of the game. That's just how this thing go. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you choose to say things and you choose to present yourself a certain way that says, hey, follow me. Follow me. When the Dallas Cowboys lost to the San Francisco 49ers the first time, you know what I'm saying, when the people was crying in the stands, remember they were throwing the trash. They were throwing the trash at people. They were throwing the trash at the refs. You know what I mean? Dak Prescott in the interview, was asked, what do you think about, the fans throwing trash at the refs? Something on the lines of, well, more power to them. Basically, you know what I mean? Basically alluding to the fact that the refs deserve the trash being thrown at them because they didn't call the best game.
And in the game, wanting or expecting to lose, and for people to react that way when you're supposed to be a supporter and be with us through thick and thin, that's tough.
I think they were aiming at the referees.
Yeah. They were at the referees.
Credit to them then.
That's not
Yeah.
They weren't doing it.
Oh, well, credit to them.
You know what I mean? That's the game where they were trying to run up to the line of scrimmage. They didn't get the ball to the referee, so the referee could down the ball, and they could then clock the ball and, have a shot for a Hail Mary. That's what was, They blame the ref. Remember, they blame the ref getting in the way. They never accept accountability. You know what I mean? And Jalen Hurts would never do that. Jalen Hurts would never take the podium and blame anybody for anything. Blame anybody for anything. The standard thing to say when you get up there is we got to do better. You know what I mean? I constantly, vividly remember Jalen Hurts telling us before this was happening, listen, we right there. We right there, y'all. We right there. It's clicking. We right there. You know what I mean? He was right. A Super Bowl window open. You know what I mean? The way that Hall of Famers talk about Jalen Hurts and Kelsey and Lane Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts is such a leader that he's able to lure in big name talent. The Dallas Cowboys didn't really, you know what I mean? Dallas Cowboys really, they're not really talent powerhouses. They like to build from the draft. Then they go get guys. This is one of the first years I seen them come in here and get this type of talent like they're doing in the offseason. But, you know, the star power of Jalen Hurts. The younger generation wants to be like him. They're all saying, I want to play with Jalen Hurts. I want to play with Jalen Hurts. Everybody's saying that. You know what I mean? All the top wide receivers that are free agents, everybody was saying that they wanted to play with Jalen Hurts. They want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody and their mom is saying that. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with who's the quarterback of your roster. You know what I mean? And I think that by Jalen Hurts never coming out and blaming referees or anything like that, I think that Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, gets the leadership edge. Because that shows that, you know what I mean, it's all about everybody in this room. We're not looking for no out. We're not looking for no way out. We're not looking for nobody to have pity. We're not looking for none of that, man. If we don't win the game, that's on us. I didn't hear Jalen Hurts blame nothing on the field conditions after the Super Bowl loss. Everybody else is doing it, but not the franchise quarterback. Not the franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? And that speaks volumes of the character of Jalen Hurts. Let's get right into the athleticism department. Now, we know Jalen Hurts got this one hands down over Dak Prescott. Come on, man. The multitude of records, the things that he's done on the ground, becoming the first player in NFL history to have back-to-back 10 rushing touchdown seasons from the quarterback position is just remarkable. Back-to-back 700-yard seasons. Jalen Hurts is one of the best dual threats ever to play the game of football already, because I don't think of another dual threat that has done what he's done on the ground while being number one from the pocket in a multitude of statistical categories. He really can kill you in two different ways. I see why these guys don't want to mention this a lot over there, man. It's crazy. Mental toughness. Jalen Hurts has the edge with this one. Nobody would disagree this but a Cowboys fan. Like, we keeping it real. We going to provide context. You know what I mean? I can give you all day how many times Dak has shown mental weakness, but I can give you a great example in the Super Bowl with that fumble that Jalen Hurts, you know, had a 15-play drive, bounced back, got those points back, and went up 10 at the halftime. So the fumble, you know, they want to make it hold weight. They want to weaponize it. But we know that's not the case for real, man. The fumble is not a reason why the Philadelphia Eagles lost the game. Jalen Hurts bounced back beautifully with mental toughness. Timing and decision-making. This one we can add a little visual context. From what I see, Jalen Hurts has took a vast step in this department. And I think Dak Prescott has declined. You know, the easy way out is to say it's due to personnel for Dak. It's due to, you know, offensive coordinator. It's due to scheme. This is an 8-year vet, man. It's an 8-year vet, bro. Jalen Hurts, man. This is how his timing has jumped this year. You know, he doesn't wait anymore for guys to be wide open. He throws guys open. As soon as he saw that busted blown coverage by the safety, that ball was out his hands. You know what I mean? These are things that come with intelligence and learning the position at a real high level. Now, you know, Jalen Hurts also led the NFL this year with 13 20-plus yard touchdowns. A lot of people came into the season saying he can't throw the ball. Cap. Just a bunch of things that don't make sense. Now, I can give you bad timing from an 8-year vet right here. You know what I mean? CeeDee Lamb's open on the top. He's open on the top, you know, towards the sideline, towards the boundary. Dak Prescott makes the wrong decision. That's cover 3, man. The correct play is to go to CeeDee Lamb on this play. You know what I mean? The correct play is to throw to that flat area or that out area to CeeDee Lamb. Not make the decision across the middle of the field where they're watching your every move. Dak Prescott has continuously shown that, you know, the regression that I see from him is in the timing. Now, Michael Gallup is open on this play. It's the same drive, man. It's for all the chips. If he lets that ball go in a timely manner, Michael Gallup, who is basically one-on-one, you know what I mean, has a great opportunity to make a play. That's a player that high points a lot of balls. Now, Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, this year, throwing guys open,
throwing into the soft spot. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts has shown way better timing than Dak Prescott this last year alone. Now I can go on and on and on about the number of interceptions that Dak Prescott threw due to bad timing, but I'm trying to be as fair as possible to Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? I just firmly in my heart of hearts don't believe that an 8-year vet who has played as much football as Dak Prescott should be allotted the pass of, you know what I mean? Maybe it's the defensive coordinator, maybe it's the offensive coordinator or the play caller. When guys are open, but Dak is just literally making the wrong decisions, man. So in short, man, I think there's a multitude of ways and a multitude of different things that Jalen Hurts does better than Dak Prescott. Since everybody want to know and everybody want to know context-wise on this situation, do I think Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback? Absolutely not. Dak Prescott is the second best quarterback in the conference. Jalen Hurts is just the first. I think these guys are having a hard time understanding that because they're so used to having the best quarterback in the conference. But those days are gone. Hurts is more accomplished. Hurts is better. Hurts got the brighter future. Them in the comments